Wicked for Good comes out November 21st, and what is there to say about it that hasn't already been said? I mean, seriously. Jonathan Bailey won 2025's Sexiest Man Alive, and Cynthia Erivo has become something just short of a religious figure. In the endless void of social media and the internet as a whole, everything that could be possibly spoken of in regards to the Wicked movies has been done to death. But, as the YouTube channel devoted to musical cinema, it seems like a grave mistake to not speak on the biggest release of the year. Especially since I released a video this time last year on the same subject, I felt it was time for a companion video. So, what is a video essayist to do? I understand that I have a platform due to a corporate conglomerate, so, like any other good little capitalistic bootlicker, I should tell you to buy your light-up popcorn buckets and $55 Stanleys. But I'm not going to be doing those things, so I shouldn't tell you to. I could also tell you to get your tickets now, but I have no fear that you won't. This movie will make $10 gazillion regardless of my endorsement or not. Wicked has become an entity removed from itself, and I'd like a moment to explore that. So welcome to Movie Musical Mania, the channel devoted to musical cinema, and let's talk about Wicked for Good. If last year's Wicked is any indicator, Wicked for Good will be crafted with as much care and intent as any audience could hope for. It looks incredibly promising, and why shouldn't it? It's the second half of a film that most people love, filmed at the same time of said film. There are going to be some changes to the source material, most notably the addition of 2 new songs. Obviously I haven't heard these songs, but Glinda's song in particular, The Girl in the Bubble, which serves as the penultimate number, seems incredibly merited. Glinda is, for me at least, the more interesting character in Part 2, so a new song at such a crucial moment in the story, right after the March of the Witch Hunters, seems like a worthwhile addition. Elphaba's new number, No Place Like Home, comes right before The Wicked Witch of the East, which, by the way guys, is actually included in the soundtrack this time. Elphaba's new song, with its tongue-in-cheek title, seems less necessary, but when the bulk of the score's bangers are in the first half, one must stuff the second half with Oscar-baiting material. I doubt the number will do any harm, and I trust that the creators will justify its existence. The soundtrack also cuts the finale, so I wonder how the ending differs. Another notable change circulating the internet is the inclusion of Glinda in Wonderful. This might be a powerful change. I figure Glinda will be trying to convince Elphaba to join forces with the wizard, believing it to be in Elphaba's best interest. Not only will this make the scene a little less cuttable, but it will also provide a nice moment early in the story of Elphaba and Glinda interacting, since their shared stage time in the musical is much less in Act 2. We have also seen that Nessarose flies now instead of walks, which makes me excited to see what other minute changes will come November 21st. All this to say, Wicked for Good will hopefully be quite good. The early reviews are glowing. I'm excited. I hope it wins some Oscars. I wonder if Paul Tazwell can, or will, win a second time for costumes, because he certainly didn't disappoint. And, like I said, this movie will make a gazillion bucks, and that is a good thing. I also love when a movie musical is made well and received well, because this is something that happens seldom. It's not every year where the biggest film isn't an action blockbuster made for men. Wicked is a movie made and marketed with the LGBTQ community in mind, which is nothing short of a blessing in this era. But Universal isn't going to put so much money into a movie that won't benefit from a wide release. This means it must have mass appeal. A lot of Wicked's marketing hinges on the fact that the story is timely and carries an important message, which, in the studio's eyes, necessitates the film's existence and, in tandem, its merchandising. It's okay to sell junk as long as it's under the facade of fighting a fascist regime, right? Well, I certainly can agree the film is timely. But, for a story about a woman, quite literally of color, fighting against an oppressor, as well as the friendship between 2 women of vastly different political reputations, it makes me wonder how much of the impact remains after it has been molded and approved by manager after director after producer. Is the message lost in a $350 million production budget and spectacle? I certainly felt it was a little buried in last year's product, although this is by no means a new sensation. Indisputably, the stage musical's message was also undermined by the elitist, high-ticket costs of Broadway, a fact even more noticeable in Idina Menzel's other big hit, Rent. But Wicked, the show, at least deserves credit for creating a powerful something out of a rather dense novel. The movie is, obviously, more accessible to the public than the stage show is. The second act of the musical, which is effectively the plot of this new movie, is the more emotional one of the two, and I can't help but be concerned that the second part is more CGI heavy than the former, based on the trailers. Behind a corporate gloss, how much can the heart of the story really shine? Empathize with the oppressed, says Universal, while also reminding you to not only enjoy the sexual tension of an oddly well-produced Dunkin' ad, but to also buy the perfectly placed $per-tiny donut Munchkin container, and also a Wicked sweatshirt and matching makeup palette. Perhaps it is the mark of a good story that anyone watching the film can empathize with Elphaba, but perhaps that is also the mark of an ineffective one. Art should polarize and make us truly think, right? I will give Wicked the credit of actually having an important message, unlike the next fill-in-the-blank box office topper, be it Jurassic Park or The Fast and the Furious. But art that makes a statement and incredibly financially successful art tend to be mutually exclusive occurrences. Can one still appreciate the sentiment of a film drowned in toys and products and merchandise and other paraphernalia that will end in a landfill a year from now? I say yes, but perhaps Wicked is bound for the fate of Barbie. Its message, becoming universal in nature, will resonate with the general public, therefore being less sharp-edged than something radical. I guess, in that sense, Wicked the musical, in its various iterations, has never been revolutionary or radical in itself, but is instead about revolutionary things, and selling merchandise. Oddly enough, it was a marketing technique of the film that seemed to spare it from being a completely heartless cash grab, at least in my eyes. The Wicked One Wonderful Night program was not necessarily necessary for this film's success. We're still riding the wave of last year's sensation of Holding Space, That's My Line, and watching Cynthia and Ariana cry. Like, a lot. Which was a mark of passion, I believe. But this televised concert was, in my opinion, a net good, not just for the studio that produced it, but also for the public. The program was a positive, a beacon of hope that echoed the variety shows of the 50s and 60s, and was a moment for humans to exhibit human talent, as well as honor those who came before. It was heartwarming, to say the least, and at least an indicator that Universal wants to do something incredibly positive with the IP while also promoting it. The heart of Wicked for Good may be slightly clouded with CGI monkeys and Dunkin' products, but I hope, just hope, that we can take some humanity away from this major production. It may be the best beacon of hope in the popular culture that we have for some time. I have much faith in Wicked for Good, and I can't wait to see it. Thank you for watching. This is Movie Musical Mania.